I'm legitimately surprised by the breaking news I just read during that commercial break. Mo Diarra of the North Carolina State Wolfpack men's basketball team put out a statement saying that he is 100% pursuing his professional career and declaring for the NBA draft. The statement reads, "This last season at NC State with my teammates and coaches was incredible for me. It has been more than I could have imagined, and I will always cherish my time with NC State and our run to the ACC Championship and Final Four. But my dream has always been to play in the NBA, and now I'm going to turn my focus 100% to pursuing my professional career. To my teammates at NC State, you guys are my brothers for life. To my coaches, thank you for your guidance and your belief in my abilities. And finally, to the fans, thank you for all your support this season. The support you showed the last month of our season was amazing. I will always be a member of Wolfpack Nation, but at this time I am officially declaring for the NBA draft."
That's why I did not expect this to happen.
I'm legitimately surprised. Like, I'm caught off guard.
Yeah.
One, I hadn't seen anything saying that the NBA was super high on Diarra. Not to say they wouldn't ever be. He brings a certain skill set, and especially if his shot continues to develop, that does translate to the NBA.
6'10", can rebound.
But at the same time, I thought he was going to have an opportunity to be a more featured player this upcoming season.
Yeah.
And being featured might lead to a better draft or NBA profile. I don't think NC State was this. Here's what it is, and here's what this show is about college basketball. I don't think NC State was planning on needing to replace Mo Diarra this offseason. But what did I say? And I said this, I forget which team I was talking about, maybe Duke, earlier this offseason. You have to go through with your team, meaning head coach and with your support staff, your recruiting staff, your assistant coaches, and literally look at every single person on the roster and say, how do we pivot? What is our plan if this person decides to leave? Whether that's the portal, whether that's going pro, whether that's anything else. What do we do with this person? Even if it's someone who you don't think is going to leave in a million years. Even if it's like, why would they leave? Actually, know who this was about? This, ironically, was about Seth Trimble for UNC. We had this conversation. Because Seth Trimble, when he went into the portal, which he has now withdrawn his name and gone back to UNC, I said, RJ Davis hasn't said he's coming back yet. Why in the world would Seth Trimble say he's leaving? But UNC had to have a plan, and obviously their plan was to continue trying to get him to come back. But so I guess that could be the plan for NC State with Diarra, is he's declaring that he's going to the NBA draft, but he still has eligibility. You can still get him to withdraw that name.
Yeah.
But you have to look at every player on your roster and say, if they decide to transfer or if they decide to go pro, what is our plan?
Mm-hmm.
And that way, when this happens, it's not full panic. It's opening a drawer in your desk, going through a file cabinet and saying, Diarra. All right, here's what we do. These are the guys we like in the portal to play the 4-5 position, the 4 or 5. Here's the guys we like coming out of, here's our recruits and which ones might be able to play there. Here's Ben Middlebrooks. Do we like Middlebrooks stepping into the starting lineup and playing a bigger role? All of that has to be part of the discussion. But I assume they have to take 45 minutes to just be flabbergasted by this one a little bit. I am legitimately surprised. Do you think this is part Costanza-ing? Right? With the legendary Seinfeld episode where George Costanza realizes when he tells a good joke, he should just walk off the stage like a comedian, right? You have a good joke, everybody laughs. Thank you, everybody. Good night. And he starts doing it like at work. He's in the conference room, tells a funny joke, everybody laughs. Thank you, everybody. Good night. And he just goes home for the day, and everybody's like, hey, that George, he's a good guy. Do you think this is Diarra just recognizing we won the ACC championship, we made a run to the Final Four? Thank you, everybody. Good night. Always remember me as the guy that played through Ramadan fasting on a way to a Final Four and had all those clutch rebounds. Good night, everybody. And then you just sail off into the sunset.
Like, remember how awesome I was in the postseason?
Maybe it's like a sell high. I don't know. I'm surprised because it seems like with how he played at the end of this year on that run we just talked about, that would be setting him up to build off of that momentum and be depended upon more by NC State at the beginning of next year. There were moments in this season he was not playing huge minutes. He was playing 10, 12 minutes in some games and kind of a role player, and that simply wouldn't happen next year. He's proven that he's too valuable to not be on the floor for massive amounts of minutes. Mo Diarra announced just moments ago, we're looking at 18 minutes ago on his social media that he is entering into the NBA draft.
Live reaction in real time.
Live reaction can be described as surprised.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. I did not see this one coming. Did not see this one coming at all. But like you said, he does have a year of eligibility left, depending on what he does in terms of signing with a pro agent. We played 2 years of JUCO, then he had a year of Missouri.
I think I may have forgotten the JUCO years.
Yeah, and then obviously at NC State. So, you know what? But also, here's the thing as well. If you want to go pro, and it's an option for you, and it's what you want to do, go for it. Go for it.
I don't knock people for going to make their money. I do think some people in retrospect look back and go, I wish I would have hung around. But you're an adult. You make your own decisions. I will not knock you for chasing that back.
Hey, go for it. You know what? But here's the thing. If NBA doesn't work out, that guy can play overseas easily. Easily can have a career overseas. If he wants to start being a pro, go be a pro. He's done 4 years of college already.
And he was also he was born in France.
He was.
That actually helps you out even more with overseas stuff if you have a European passport, because some leagues have rules on how many Americans you're allowed to have. You can only have 2 or 3 Americans. If you were born over there and you can use that, then there's usually even more openings for you.
Sure, it's a lot easier. Not to get deep in the weeds, but just get a work visa, those kinds of things. Because guess what? That's the kind of stuff you have to have.
Also, yeah, let's just dive into some paperwork that he has to file. Let's make sure he's dotting his I's and crossing his T's around here.
And plus, as well, I mean, I've talked to people who have played internationally, from the United States, and they said it's a really, really difficult adjustment because you don't know language. It's a completely different environment, culture. Some very much struggle with it. Some struggled mightily with it.
I know some basketball players that I was friendly with from my time at Delaware that played all over. Like we're talking Russia, Japan, like every different kind of place. And the stories, they are stories.
Oh, yeah.
The stories are definitely stories.